Welcome everyone, we're here with Benny. Welcome back to Collector's Card Company.
Hey
Benny?
guys. Yep, welcome back.
Now, why don't you tell us what you did?
Alright, so basically there hasn't been any events for Australia OCE for a while. Huge shout out to NWP, that's Namekian Witness Protection, and PX3, Perth Pro players. They were able to hold an event for us Aussie players down here in Australia, so it was a great event. Thanks to them. Huge shout out to them for, helping out our community and, just hosting events. Honestly, we just need more events right now, so...
Completely agree. It was really amazing of them. It was a great day.
Yep. Thanks, Jimmy and Tom. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right, now, what did you play?
I played Gogeta Zeno.
Absolutely. Yep, the famous green Gogeta Zeno.
Nah, unfortunately, Gogeta Zeno was not... So for those that don't know, the set got delayed here in Australia, so we had a vote for this one, and... we all chose to play post-ban list because, why not? But we don't have any of the new cards yet until 17th of June. So that's when our pre-release is. So I did play Reboot Cell. This deck was pretty much inspired by Cross Worlds TCG. So if you haven't seen their deck profile, I highly suggest it because that deck profile is basically, I'm running basically the same cards as the list. And yeah, this leader is really, really good. Basically, it's very budget friendly as well. So I'll quickly go over what the leader kind of does here. Activate main, you can place one Android card under it, then draw a card and KO something 3 or less. If your opponent doesn't know how to play around it, you can do some pretty insane stuff, but usually those that do know how to play against it, they don't play a battle card turn 1. That's 3 or less. Yeah, and otherwise it awakens, goes down to 5 life, really, really good. And yeah, I'll let you read what this does. Same thing when this guy, place one card under this card. When it swings, draw 2 cards. It has to be an Android card. And then when you detach 2 cards from it, you gain 5k in critical. Really good.
Yeah, fantastic.
And then just bread and butter for the package. You do run 4 of each of the androids that come in the ultimate deck. This one draws a card. This one looks at top 5 for any android. You can grab Cell Zeno with it. Really, really good. And then we run 4 of these ones as well. These count as 2 names. This is the best stamp one. Really, really nice.
Let's just appreciate that up close.
Yeah, me and Peter love the foils, Unfortunately, I haven't really... I did foil out the deck, but they're not max rarity, though, by all means. This card's really insane. So what you can really do on turn 1 here is, if you pop something with this effect, and you play this as well, you can get a crit with this guy as well. And then also, once you finish your crit, put it under your leader, and then you can draw another card with that, which is really, really good. But otherwise, you've got 8 targets now, pretty much, because this counts as 2 names.
It's fantastic, a lot of consistency.
Yeah. Very consistent deck, yeah. And then we run 4 of these, the cell package here. We run 4 of each just for max it out for consistency as well. This one you play if you have a unison card and your opponent doesn't have any battle cards, which is pretty easy to do unless they play something with barrier. That is a bit harder. And then this one is when you KO something, you can play this card in rest mode. But yeah, we maxed out the chain for 4 of each. All comes in the ultimate deck as well.
Of course, of course.
And then for this is the main one that we go into, second form Cell. So he's got a EX Evolve, 1 green on top of an Android 17. It did come up once, so you can use it if you need, because a Union Absorb is limit 1 for 1 green as well. You sack basically you grab a 17, and so you basically start off the chain by grabbing one of these, go into a 17, and then you can grab this from the deck, and then by doing that you can also grab an 18 and then go into a perfect force up for the Union Absorb. So the good thing about this card here is that it can look for the drop or your deck as well. Obviously most of the time you want to look for your deck, and when you do, you absorb this, play the 8-drop, draw a card, and if you have the Unison out as well, you get to draw another card from the Unison.
It's fantastic. There's a lot of recursion there.
So we do play 3 of these. I think it's the correct ratio, because all you need to do is just see one of these, and when it dies, it goes in your drop. It's really, really good. So yeah, I think 3 is the correct number. This card is really insane. Basically, what it does is it's got dual attack if you want. So you detach 1 card under it, and you can restand it with activating battle. So most of the time, yeah, you can use it at your discretion. Otherwise, you can block and dormant and loop people behind this, which is really insane. And it's also got a protection as well, where you detach 2 to prevent it from dying from a skill.
I'm sure lots of us have first-hand experience trying to deal with that 8 block. He's really difficult to get rid of.
For sure. And then we run the perfect 4-cell package with the regeneration. So I only just picked up this deck on the day. My game 1 against Peter, I accidentally detached perfect 4-cell from the leader. I didn't realize that you can't play this from the drop. This has to be played from under the leader. So he plays a 7-drop or a 8-drop cell, so it's either one of these 2 targets here. But if you're silly like me, and you're still learning, you accidentally sack this by accident, and then you can't go into perfect 4th.
Don't worry guys, Benny still kicked my butt.
Yeah, it was a bad matchup for Peter, but we'll talk more about it when we talk about the matchups.
Of course.
Yeah, otherwise, play this on turn 5, bread and butter, go into this, and usually you want to pair it with maybe like a charismatic villain and go into the Cell Zeno, or you can do some interesting plays. We'll go into that after this. This is also a 1-drop negate as well, but didn't come up for me. Usually you only have one of these in your hand, so I try to keep it for the 7-drop cell if I do have it.
That's fair.
And then still standard. We're running 4 of the Vegito Unison. This card is really, really hard to kill behind Dormant and the 8-drop blocker. Once per turn, when you activate Union, most people know this with the Gotenks deck, Union Fusion, but this does work for Union Absorb as well. And when you get to draw a card for that, which is really good. Revenge effect, basically never relevant because all your cards is green-yellow. And this card has to be mono-green. And then this -7 comes up a lot because it will help you facilitate negging another 3 cards from the hand, and you get a pop of life as well.
Very strong.
I think it's the best unison to run in the deck. And then we run 4 charismatic villain, Sorry, I'm not...
With the collector's version.
I was going to say, sorry, I'm not Peter. I'm not usually a green player, so I don't own all the SPRs.
I don't own all the SPRs. I've only got 1.
I think you have 4 SPRs for your deck.
I've got 3 SRs, but that's alright.
But anyways, yeah, you run 4 charismatic villain because it's really good, Why not? And then... like I said before, you go into 7 and 5 makes the easiest Cell Zeno, and you can just pop problematic battle cards with it as well.
Of course.
And then, more things in our Unison package.
4 winner dormants.
Yep, finally get to play these. I'm not much of a green player myself, again, so yeah. Basically, the premise is that you lock people behind dormant potential, and you pitch like whatever dead cards you need, like 17, 18, whatever you want, like. Anything that's extra that you don't need in your hand, you can pitch, and then pretty much you use Dormant, and then you block with Cell, and Cell is really hard to kill already. Even if it dies, next turn you just restart the chain with the 1-drop again. So, yeah, I think 4 is the correct number.
It's amazing how much defense this deck can pull out.
Yeah. Basically it's really good against like the low to the ground aggro decks.
Like me.
Yep. Basically, most 2 of my rounds against Peter and Blake, this card came up huge. Blake played AOD for your information, and Peter played Red Barter. And then we run 4 of these ones super combo because we do want to put some of the pieces back, like that we brick. Because you go down to 4 life actually pretty easily with this deck. As long as when you're waking, you go down to 5, and then you want to homicidal down to 4 life, and then these super combos are live already. And you draw a lot with this deck, so you probably will see at least 1 homicidal pretty easily. And these are the cards that you usually want to bottom deck with the super combo here. So you can start your chain again and get value from the deck here. So I think, this super combo is actually better than Paragus. And then we run 3 of the homicidal clones. This card facilitates your going down to 4 life, because you go down 5 and this card becomes live basically turn 2 when you awaken as well. Helps protect your unison. Super strong, like it's also got a 5k combo power, becomes a skill list, really, really good. Yeah, I like this card. And then we run the 1-off. This card is really good in tandem with the 8-drop here. So this is the card usually you want to use it with. So basically you swing with this here, and then you combo this here. So the first swing becomes 30k. It does cost 1 to combo, however. Otherwise it'll be really, really broken. Your first swing will be 30k because it gains the 5k for the turn, and then if you detach restand, you can gain the 5k. It gains 5k for the turn, right? So you swing again, they'll become 25. So basically, it becomes a 30k double strike and 25k double strike.
That's a lot of pressure for very little investment.
Yeah, and then this tech I got off Cross Worlds. Shout out to Joey
Yes.
and Danny Wynn. We did not realize this existed. This is basically a final spirit cannon. When your opponent has 4 or more energy, you can rest any card and just play this card here. Really, really good card. I only got it off once, and it was actually kind of relevant because it means 1 less Dabura that your opponent can play on you. Pretty good, pretty good. And then Secret Rare of Choice, Sal Zeno, because
Of course.
it's definitely the best one. You want to win on turn 5 anyways. This deck is really degenerate. Like, it basically aims to get your opponent's hand on turn 5 down to 0. Yeah. And then getting into this is really easy. You can go into like a 8 and a 4. You can do a lot of things. And then you can basically use the 7 and the 5 as well, which I can't find here. So you go 7 and the 5 is somewhere down here. And
Yes,
7 and the 5. Yeah. And then that's basically the main board for my Cell deck, and I didn't really have a flushed out sideboard because this is like a last minute thing. And we'll run 4 of these. Bardock Paternal Unison, really good against Android 16. Sided in against Ryan.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would have been very handy.
Pretty good. I'm not the best with this deck because, I still have to read. Oh, sided against Janimba as well. It was pretty good because he basically, I didn't realize he ran Nimbus in his blue-yellow Janimba. And this came in really handy. A lot of times I just hardcasted this for like big numbers and then try to use the -3 and then just go for the triple attack. And this gets around Nimbus, Riposte, etc. Really good card.
Unison attackers are very fantastic.
Peter's favorite card. We have to run this.
I love him. He's my boy.
If you watched our podcast, we need a way to get rid of barrier in this deck because we don't have a barrier removal. This is basically it. And from Peter, I learned that this is actually pretty good. You can pop Sin with this as well. You can do a lot of cute stuff with this, like get rid of some slugs. Whenever you need barrier removal, I think this is probably the best green barrier removal.
It's also not that hard to control your life with this deck, so it's pretty good for that too.
Correct. And this is the other one that also from Peter, like, if you watch our podcast, these were our suggestions.
I'm the man for green tech, apparently.
Yeah. This card is also a barrier board wipe. I thought against Trunks Cheetah, I sided this in. I was like, I didn't get it off though, but if you do get it off, you can basically board wipe all the Trunks, the Poutine and stuff off.
It's a good feeling.
It's just a good feeling, and then you probably live behind a Dormant and like a Cell or what's the other card? Homicidal Clone. So I don't think you're dying even if you hardcast this for 4. So, and then we've got 2 Daburas for any hand destruction. The mirror match. Sided this against Ryan as well when he played Android 16 because. Yeah, it's just a good card.
Of course.
And last but not least, 1 commemorative photo.
Exactly. Most important card in the deck.
Most important card, I never sided it in. It's just there for flex, but yeah, basically it's not a 15 card sideboard, but you can probably play around with it. So
Fantastic. Well, why don't you tell us a bit about your matchups for the day?
yeah, okay. So matchups for the day. First round. Shout out to Peter, obviously the man behind the camera right now. Thank you for doing this interview with me.
That's all right,
Also,
Benny.
sorry for being, I think I was like 5-10 minutes late to the event as well. Because
It was perfectly all right. We didn't need all the time.
yeah, I was out on the weekend. I was like, oh, so sorry. Like, my first opponent was actually Peter, because otherwise, if it was against any other opponent, that would have been a round 1 disqualification, probably. Easy DQ,
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter played Red Bardock, basically, and probably one of his worst matchup, because you just lock him behind Dormant,
It really was.
pop all their 1-drops, and there's not much he can do about it. And
Yeah.
yeah, basically that's game 1. I misplayed a lot though, so it is what it is. Game 2 versus Blake playing AOD, that was an interesting matchup because he started in a lot of Daburas. I think he dropped 3 Daburas on me.
Oh,
and I was still able to close out the game because of the quad strike from Cell. He was 5k short on outcomboing the first swing and then he still had 1 more swing, so...
Whoa.
Yeah, so I was going to put in a lot of work, so the combo is degenerate. Even 3 Daburas was not enough, so... And then round 3, I versed Ryan Aqua. He was playing Android 16.
Yes,
I always
of
verse
course.
Ryan. Shout out to him. He always does really, really well. I think he came 4th overall in the
He did quite well.
Yeah. MVP was definitely Paternal Unison. And another thing was unlucky for him. if you play Android 16, I don't know, John says this a lot as well. You always ramp into as a master with energy amplification, and he did the same thing. So basically, he couldn't establish Boo Unison on curve because of the green's master energy, and that slowed him down a lot because I was able to aggress quite hard with my cells. I'm basically trying to aggress him as hard as I can with the Bardock Unison. They can't combo as well. Force him to combo an extra card to arrival stuff, and then if you negate as well, it's actually really strong against them because they can't arrival cards in, and then you pretty much stop them in their track. So yeah, shout out to Ryan, he played really well though.
Well done, Ryan.
Round 4 was versing Tyson.
Oh, of
Tyson
course.
was playing Trunks Jeter, so we've already played each other before. Yeah, it was once again really tough matchup. He played it really well. Also, it came down to me getting lucky at the end, sniping 2. So he had 4 cards in hand. In the end, I had to snipe 3 of them. I ended up taking 2 of the token negates, which was the major defense that he needed. So if I took, if the last card in his hand was token negate, he probably wins that game.
Wow.
I was able to take 3 cards from his 4 card hand, and he had 1 card left in hand, and yeah, I was able to win.
It's amazing how in this game just 1 card can make the difference.
Yep. So if you get lucky, it's pretty good. And then round 5, I versed Umberto from NWP. He was also one of the bounties with holding the Janimba map for the game. We had a great game. Unfortunately, I was really tired, so not gonna blame it on that. He played really well. He beat me. He milled me out. So congrats to him for winning the whole event as well. And I know I was pretty fatigued during that game. We had a lot of people watching us as well. At one stage when he swung with Boo Unison, and then I milled 2 cards, and then we had to like, oh wait a second, he didn't swing with leader. We had to go like the judges and stuff, and it was like, yeah, lucky Tom, Jimmy, they're all watching. We were able to and Ryan was watching as well. Like we were able to recur some of the mistakes that I made, because I think it was, by that time there, I think it was like 7 o'clock for us in Melbourne. I was pretty fatigued as well.
Player fatigue is a very real thing.
And I had a long day because I was like, I've been out all morning. So huge shout out to Umberto for winning and milling me out. Feels good losing to Janimba, honestly. Yeah, he's degenerate. I'm degenerate. We're playing degenerate deck. So yeah.
Oh, maybe it's the big comeback Janimba's been waiting for.
Yep. Yeah. Basically, that was the event recap. Yeah. Once again, just want to give a huge shout out to NWP and Tom, and also PX3 Jimmy. Thank you so much for hosting events like for us Australian players here. Honestly, it means a lot to us. We as a community really do appreciate what they're doing for us. So thank you. And then of course shout out to our sponsor, Collectors Company Card Gaming. If we're gonna have we already have pre-orders for singles up for the new set. If you haven't checked out our website already, more to come. Heaps of good stuff. And yeah, thank you for Peter for doing this deck profile with me. And we're gonna have his red Bardock deck profile after this one. So yeah.
Thanks a bunch, guys.
All right, peace.